This is us starting for real. Hey, G.
Hey.
That was a, do you have to bring the mic right up close to your face?
Yeah, I'm just trying not to laugh.
That was a very, hey, we're recording right now.
And I was
we
like,
jumped in.
no, because I was looking at a ridiculous meme.
And here we are.
As you do.
And here we
laughing.
are. Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the DMs, the likes, the follows, the subscribing to us on YouTube. All 21 of you. We're really stoked with the 21.
Hey, I'm not
genuinely.
even subscribed, actually.
Come
22,
on, 22.
just made it.
You all met Hannah digitally kind of in the first two episodes because Hannah's been working in Tasmania.
I have.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
How's it
Sorry
feel?
about all the noise from the ocean in my videos.
It was all right. It was a bit of relaxation.
Relaxation. Well, initially they were intended for internal purposes only.
Yeah, that's true. That first one that you sent from the beach was just to our team chat. And I was
Actually,
like, that's
in my
perfect.
swimming talks.
Yeah,
nice.
sorry about that.
That's okay. Had a few little Baywatch comments, which
Did
is
ya?
nice. I'm not sure it matches up, but
Yeah.
anyway.
I think it was the red togs, right?
It was the red togs, not the stuff inside.
Oh, far out. And we're
So, on that note, this
Yeah.
podcast is going to be,
back
I don't
into
know.
it. So I think it's pretty important for us to call out a pretty obvious thing that there's just two of us here. We haven't disbanded. We haven't broke the team up at all.
No.
We just thought we'd put in place our own measurements in the studio to try limit physical distance between all of us. And it was really tricky to try set up a podcast rig and video rig that would fit 4 people in it without us being on top of each other. So for the time being, we're going to try limit that as much as possible to keep space and still
keep the
connected.
physical distance, but the social connection.
Big time. A lot of you guys that we're chatting to in work scenarios are doing the same thing. So we just wanted to follow it up here, which has got its own little challenges. So we're going to have little segments. We crossed over to Thomas, which we'll chuck in a second, and Gus is going to call us soon as well. And so you'll see that. So bear with us. If you got any epic tips on how to video podcast and cut things in different ways, hit me up because I'm new at it.
Yeah, we'd love to know.
How to do everything.
How to do it.
Everything. So on that, adjustment.
Adjusting to the new normal.
How are you going?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, really interesting. I think I shared with you and Thomas yesterday and Gus today actually about how I've had this weird I don't know, like reflection in the last few days. So I'm all like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. What's going to happen? Tim, my partner, sort of said, can you just get away from the media? So, and I've been really cautious, and Gus and I were sort of sharing this before, just to read sort of more academic literature as opposed to media hype.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of getting myself into these.
It's so easy to do.
Yeah, into
you just
these
turn the
kind of
tally on for like 10 minutes and it's doomsday prepping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you hear these amazing stories where it's like, oh my gosh, and it's not necessarily, wow, this is all fixed now. It's more, how cool are these little moments, like the Italians all singing from their balconies.
Cool. Yeah.
And like there's a friend in Spain, posted like these amazing videos of all the Spanish people doing like workouts. So someone's
really?
instructing a workout from
balcony to balcony.
From balcony to balcony.
Oh, sick.
It's so cool. And then like bingo from balcony to balcony. So they're like having these kind of games, and then there's some ridiculous meme that's like, yeah, we get it, Europe, you've all got apartments. But it's like there's these beautiful moments, but then there's these doomsday moments, and then everything in between. And so I guess I've been going from, okay, how can we adapt and do things differently and be really responsive to our clients and do all this sort of stuff to kind of help really and get the message out there. But then I've had this insane emotional reaction to the physical distance thing.
Yeah, it's super weird.
And it's just this crazy, really emotional reaction to it because I'm like that lack of touch.
Yeah.
physical touch, whatever.
It's super weird. Like adapting to what's the normal for right now it's kind of affected everything, right? Like even, it's so funny, I was reading a post that couples that are remote working, like you were just saying, Mads was just here a second ago, and it was like we're in each other's grill and it's just like tiny little apartment.
Yeah, you guys needed a wee bit of time out.
Yeah, we need to, I read this post and it's like couples both working from home need to have like a fake employee to blame things on. Like
I saw that,
like,
called Karen.
Bloody Karen needs to put the dishes away. Like, but there's all these things that everybody has to work through. I've been noticing, like, see through here, you guys can't see it, but through there, so over this way is my balcony, and then the next building across is a big office for Swiss vitamins.
Swiss, yeah.
Swiss, is that Swiss?
Swiss?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah. Sponsor us.
Hey, Swiss, let us know.
There or then, I've been noticing like day by day, less people, but then so there's some crew in there now working, but they're super spread out. And it's interesting to see, if, it's going to be so weird. It's interesting to see
Social
how big companies are adapting as well.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed is as that office and all offices are emptying and people are working from home, my internet's getting slower.
I know.
So like uploading these videos, I'm setting like to export them, I'm like setting alarms like 3 a.m. to change it to get it done because our internet's just taking like 8 hours to do anything. So,
and then I'm awake reading.
Yeah, we're texting at like 3 a.m. You're
3.
freaking yourself out. I was doing the same thing.
Anyway,
Hey,
cool.
Because of this new normal, I think there's social distancing,
Physical distancing,
sorry.
social connection.
But we just went and got a coffee, and
I know.
how weird was that?
Yeah, so we were up at Alimentari on Smith Street, and first thing we noticed is how empty it was from
The whole street, not just
ago. In the whole street. I could get a park really easily. And I've actually got a good friend who manages the place now, and she just came up and was like, "Oh my God," and kind of gave me a hug, and then went, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," and then went to shake Jordy's hand, and he just like did
this weird elbow,
and then that was super awkward, and she's like, "I just want to touch you, give you a cuddle, but oh God, I can't do that," and like it was so funny because well, strange.
Stay close to the mic.
Sorry, I'm too expressive when I talk. You really kind of notice things about yourself when you do this.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But it was so, that was like pretty confronting, like straight in your face. Like, when you meet somebody new, the first thing you do is shake your hand, and like I chucked out the elbow. But I think we need to, as a collective, just be like, fuck, this is weird, elbow, have a laugh about it. I think the humour and kind of pulling the piss out of it in like an Aussie way is probably the safest and the best way forward to be like, elbow is this and that. Thomas and I just like did a little elbow bump through webcam, like, all right, mate, see ya. And I think that kind of just made it a little bit okay.
Yeah,
I got to say, I don't know about you, but I've had more video chats with friends.
Yeah, same.
Than ever before. Like,
same.
Yeah, it's like my default now is a FaceTime as opposed to.
I've been doing that.
Like I do like to call people more than text. Like you probably know that. We're probably the same there.
Yeah.
I'm always calling because it's way quicker. And then, now it's FaceTime.
Yeah.
So I think we have to collectively push through it. Tell us what you guys are doing. Are you guys FaceTiming more? Are you using Zoom? Are you using, we use Whereby a lot.
Yeah, Whereby is pretty good.
Yeah, just, let us know how you're staying connected. And what I'm really interested to see what habits have changed, or are you creating new habits to replace a connection that has kind of been lost during the last little week?
What would you say our new habits are?
Video one. Crazy video.
Any others?
I reckon...
Or yours?
Mine, I'm being really clear on exactly what I'm doing. Like, hey, I'm doing this right now. I'm doing the report. I'm not going to look at it again until this time.
Yeah,
like,
that's
so
true.
A piece
you
of
have
work.
actually.
So, because I don't want... Normally when we're sitting like at a cafe together, or we like kind of bumping in and out to the whole team constantly, you kind of have that pulse check read of, I know that Hannah's doing that. It'll probably take 5 hours until I look at it, or I'll see that tomorrow, or it'll be 10 minutes. Like,
Depends what it is.
So I've been trying to do that. Same with Thomas. We've been calling heaps, and I've just been saying like, hey, man, do that. But I'm not going to look at it until tomorrow. So just being really clear with what I'm doing and what's on my plate.
Yeah.
What about you? What have you changed?
What have I changed? I think I'm writing way more to-do lists.
Okay.
Like, and I know you're a big fan of to-do
love
lists,
it.
Jordy. You're always
Yep.
designing some new to-do list thing.
I love it. I should upload a to-do list. For people
Upload a to-do
download.
list.
All right.
Oh, yeah, you've got that cool one. with
Yeah,
the dots.
I'll upload my
The template.
yeah, just print it out.
Yeah. Can I have one before I go?
Yeah, I think we'll
Yeah,
start.
thanks. But I have been writing more to-do lists just to be kind of like what you just said, like super clear on, okay, my headspace is in there, next one. But I found, I don't know if this is a routine, but I've just been on video since, well, in Tasmania and since getting back. So it's been constant. I've had to charge my phone during the day way more than I've ever had to.
Me too.
So I don't think that's a routine, but it's the new normal in a way, which is weird because we already did it, but it's just so much more. So I'm being really conscious of replacing the physical distance with the virtual connection, because I sort of had a moment on the street the other day where there was a little car crash and everyone was fine, like amazingly fine, and it was actually a really kind of incredible moment where they were like, sorry, it was my fault, I'll get your details, like really calm about it.
Oh, cool.
Actually. But I noticed there was like a 11-year-old girl in the front seat. And so my instinct was to go over and open the car door
to help
to
her.
see if she was okay. And I was like, are you okay? And touched her on the shoulder. And she was like, yeah, I'm just in shock. Thank you so much. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be touching you. And then backed away, and then she got out her hand sanitizer and I got out my hand sanitizer. I was like, I'm so sorry, but are you okay? She's like, thanks, I'm okay. And then we just both kind of looked at each other and had this moment. And then I walked and I was like, okay, you guys are all cool. You don't need my details for insurance. You know, we're all good. So I walked the 3 steps home and I just burst into tears.
Far out.
Because I just had this moment of, and like, also, I don't want to make this about me because it's not. It was just, I was just noticing my own reaction to the fact that what's a world that we live in without connection and physical connection.
Yeah, it's wild. Now, when you told me that story the other day and you're like, holy shit, the weirdest thing just happened, and you explained that to us, like my brain goes into a place of, shit, are we treating this like, cooties? Like, oh, you got it now? Because like you supporting a person and have like, touching her on the shoulder, the chances of like transmission through that is like super slim. But it just goes to show like how highly strung we are right now and how like conscious we are, and we should be, like, no medical expert,
and it's
but
the distance, right? It's not the shoulder; it's the that is in a space.
Yeah. But I think just observing it and being aware of it.
Yeah.
And
then of course I jumped to like, what's a world when we can't touch? What if this thing goes on for like
all of a sudden we're heads in jars?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, mental.
Jordy's checking the time, so he's gonna give us a little.
We're good. I thought it might be cool because it's been a couple days now since we started recording these, like a week ago, and like we're kind of putting them up now. But hopefully this is like getting our cadence closer to real time, as in this goes out a few hours after it's recorded.
Well, I think we've got better at like not editing, meaning it's pretty raw.
It's really raw. But I want to just try a new thing for us to share, share things that we're doing immediately, and maybe share like more an internal glimpse to the studio, because a lot of the questions, we've all had heaps of DMs and people reaching out, and admittedly like a lot of friends are reaching out as well, going like, hey man, what's going on with you? This is happening to me. But I thought it might be cool to share what we're actually doing as a studio and what's changed for us.
Great.
It's kind of warts and all, because like shit's not great for us.
No, well, we've got time to talk to you guys.
Yeah. I mean, for us,
which is epic, actually.
Yeah. And I mean, just to be fully transparent, all of our work is in big organizations' buildings, primarily.
A lot of it, yeah.
A lot of it. There's no one in the buildings anymore.
No.
right?
So we've had to pivot. Oh God, it's such a cliche
it's
corporate
not pivot,
word. But we have had to change up how we're delivering things, but like super, super quick.
Yeah.
So, we deliver our Guide to Starting Up program, and it's a 9-week face-to-face program. And on Tuesday, we created an online module with in a day. Well, less than.
Yeah, a few hours, right?
Yeah, and everyone was super pumped because not only were the cohort who are based within a local council, not only were the cohort and our council partners like super pumped that it wasn't like, oh, well, we'll cancel or postpone the rest of the workshop till we, till we can get back together. It was like, no, you guys care enough to actually put this online, get it to our people so they're not missing their Tuesday night experience, which is something that they all look forward to.
Yeah.
And they could keep going with the program. And it's kind of, we've been able to learn a lot about actually how that was a really efficient way to get information across succinctly, cleverly. I think it was quite good and fast. Yeah. And then that was the other thing. They're like, you're kind of role modeling adaptability. That's epic, because now it's kind of given this group, they can see what's possible. And a lot of the comments that were coming through were like, oh, that was so good. I got out of my funk. I was really worried because I look forward to this every Tuesday night and seeing each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we still were able to keep that connection, but in an online format.
Yeah. I think it's kind of, I was reflecting and chatting to a friend just before you came over about this. And for us, like, working remotely isn't the tricky thing for us, because that's what we've been doing for kind of 3 years now. So the remote stuff, and then all of us before that, like,
everyone's like, oh, chill. Where's your studio? It's like,
wherever you want. Like, so for us, it's the challenge hasn't been the working remotely part. It's been adapting our delivery into a new digital method to conform to health standards.
Yeah.
So it's, so exactly what you just said. It's like, instead of us delivering our masterclasses, workshops, programs face to face, like, how quickly can we do stuff? So, yeah, I think that's the biggest learning on how we're pivoting. And if anyone can take anything away is authenticity and storytelling, number one, quality of the video, number two, right? So I've been kind of channeling Casey Neistat, who's a big YouTuber. Do you know him?
No.
Oh my God. YouTube's going to hate us. He's huge.
Well, yeah, but you watch heaps of YouTube stuff. I watch YouTube stuff that you send me.
Yeah. So I'll send you some Casey Neistat stuff. Okay. He's massive, but he always talks about filmmaking. And he doesn't talk about equipment. He talks about story.
Yeah,
and
beautiful.
So I think if anyone can take out anything from this situation is I nearly fell into the trap before. Like, before you came over, I nearly went and brought a new camera, because I was like, let's just make it look way better and do this. And then I went, fuck it. Like, who gives a shit? Most people aren't watching us right now. They're listening to us while they're working. And then maybe once we prove the point in a few weeks or whatever, we'll get a camera. No, we're not buying anything crazy.
It's so interesting, because if we talk about taking action, like, I had this exact same conversation this morning in relation to the fitness industry.
Oh,
so
true.
My gym.
Yep.
And one of the trainers there, he was like, I'm thinking of putting this stuff out. And it was really interesting, because it was like, I've just shot these videos with my iPhone. I'm going to throw it up now, put some stuff out, because I'm just, I'm noticing people are obviously wanting to work out at home, which is such a great example of taking action, as opposed to the kind of, I'm going to think about it for ages and it needs to be like really high production and high quality. It's like, we kind of don't have time for that. Like, get it out, because the reason you go to a gym is, it's to get fit, it's to feel well and healthy and well-being, but it's also for community. Well, I do it for community. A friend of mine, another friend, he's just like, I get in and I get out. But it depends on, hey, Sean. He's really buff too. But it depends on... You met Sean?
Sean on the gram.
Yeah, exactly, Sean. But it depends on what you're there for. I'm like, well, if you're there for community, you still want to have that connection. And so, Nick just went and did these videos, and they're great. And I was showing Mads, Jordy's fiance, before. And she was like, I just need to do some exercise. Like, here you go, follow Nick's stuff, epic.
Totally.
So it's just a really great example of like, don't overthink it, don't over edit, get it out.
Yeah, get it done.
It might test a new business model. It might not. If nothing else, it just gives some kind of connection to be able to do stuff during this super weird unknown time.
Yeah. So that's how we're pivoting. We're going to keep you updated with what's changing in our world, in the hopes that you can take something out of it. But it's a two-way trade. So can you tell us what you're doing? Because we need to learn together.
Yeah.
Our doors are open and our virtual doors are open. Tell us what's up. We want to collaborate. So there's been a few people collaborating with us already, and so I'm really excited. We'll share what's coming up when it comes up. I'm just thinking, I had an epic chat with Thomas earlier.
Oh, yeah.
I want to show you that. So,
Okay, cool.
gang, this is what went down with Thomas and I catching up earlier this morning. Sweet. Legend, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Not too bad, getting through it. Bit different, not sitting next to each other in a cafe.
Yep. It's definitely a lot of change. It definitely also feels like things are heating up. Like it's definitely getting real. You really see like people experiencing already like how far-reaching the changes are and how big of an impact it actually makes on, especially of course like small business and freelancers and people that really depend on kind of making their hours
Totally
on a regular basis.
Totally, man. How's have many people been reaching out to you?
Yeah. We've seen a lot come by, especially from like the small business community. They really hit the hardest. That's what I've really been seeing a lot of, and people asking questions around how to think about the things differently, but also just sharing kind of what they're going through right now and how hard some things are and what the impact of different things are. What about you?
Yeah, dude, same thing. I'm kind of hearing from a range of people, like from big business that, from the outside look kind of indestructible, which obviously none of us are. And then same with us and same with our small guy, like startup, like really early days, some people that I'm chatting to, they're in the first like month of business and this has happened. So, it's pretty humbling, I guess, for everybody. I've also been pretty amazed to see some of the pivots that are happening and also the creativity that, forced isolation for some people that I'm chatting to, self-imposed isolation. They're just pivoting like crazy, man. You sent me a text though. You said that you had some thoughts. What's going on?
So I was reading some stuff earlier around like, how bad it actually is and what people need to start doing to kind of take a bit more control over the situation with so much being out of everyone's control as well, of course. I was reading something from my startup hero, my big inspiration, Steve Blank, and I saw that he posted something quite recently, and he was talking more about how startups should respond to this. And the first point that he made too was like, if your business model right now is the same as it was 30 days ago, it's not looking good for you. And that's kind of, it's kind of true too. Like with just like how far reaching those changes are and like how big of an impact it is, like things need to change. It's really like forced to change. And then, the reality is just different now. But what he then kind of outlined was a 3-step process, which I thought was really useful. And I think
he loves
just talking through it right
process. Now. He loves it. Process. Tell me, man. Tell me, what's he saying?
Everything comes in threes. The first thing would be like to have a look at your burn rate and then figure out what your runway is. Like the first step needs to be to make sure that you survive, that you actually get through all of this craziness and then you survive in the end. That's the most important thing. So the first step needs to be to look at your burn rate and then basically from there on figure out how long can I still keep going with this burn rate. And then I think as a second part of that, you'll need to start looking at how you can reduce that burn rate so that you can increase your runway, because we don't know how long this is going to last. We do know that it's not going to be over tomorrow and not going to be over next week. So these are like some really critical first steps that you need to take. But I think you shared something earlier today too, which I thought was really relevant when it came to that, from that friend of yours that runs the chain of stores.
Yeah.
Because he was also talking about how to immediately make sure that you look at the cost and how to mitigate those costs that are involved in running your business. So I thought it was interesting too to see that overlap there in what you see in reality and how people are thinking and talking about different things.
I just spoke to Johan actually to organize a call. So he's going to come on the show over the next few days as well.
Awesome.
Things are really crazy, but I'm really stoked that he'll be able to share some insights with our little community and hopefully help some people out. It's really interesting about the burn rate. And we often talk with, heaps of entrepreneurs and startup founders, especially in their early stage, like the finances is often the last thing that they look at. It's always about product and customer. And I know that, you and I are always pushing, like, make sure you got your kind of ducks in a row, your financing. This is forcing that to happen big time. And rather than a lot of the time, it's like making a big margin between cost and sale price. At the moment now, it's like fucking cut your margin and just try to cut your sales and just try to get the cash flow kind of staying, essentially. That's all we're trying to do. I gave some quick advice to somebody who sent me a DM like, holy shit, what do I do? And we started talking about their product and their margins. And it was pretty apparent straight away that the price in which that they were selling their product, it had a huge margin in it. Straight away, we cut the margin and figured out how much we need to sell on a daily, weekly, monthly basis just to cover cost and get food. And so that's like the new milestone, as opposed to, percents, day on day or week on week growth. It's just like, no, let's just sustain and see if we can just keep the doors going, because when we get to the other side, that's when we can start growth again. But that's only going to happen through pivot and communication and
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. It's going to be so critical just to make sure that you survive. Like that's the most important thing at this stage. And it will take drastic measures too, like drastic times require drastic measures. So point number 2, which would be to actually start looking at how you can start innovating in your business model. So how can you start doing things differently? And I think we've already seen some really interesting examples of that pop up too. So one thing that I came across when I was scrolling through Twitter this morning was this startup founder called Gary Tramer. He started 2 startups, one called LeadChat and the other one called Powered Local. And he was talking about how he was currently working with restaurants to figure out how they can keep some cash flow coming in, keep making some revenue so that they can survive this kind of crazy time and then come out at the other end again. So what he did with one of his restaurant clients was actually to have their kitchen pivot to making frozen food. So making frozen meals that people can then order. And then with his kind of startup background, he helped them figure out how they could use their database of existing customers to sell that frozen food to. It was a really interesting kind of like way of looking at things differently and implementing an innovation on the spot and making sure that there is some cash flow and there is some actual money coming in. And I think he was also working with different restaurant clients and helping them set up voucher systems or kind of pre-bookings, so that if a restaurant doesn't have any customers right now, customers can pre-book a meal with them. I think a bakery did something similar. They called it Baker Bonds. And at the end of the year, if they still have the money on the card, then the bakery will actually give them an extra 10% on the balance, which they can collect in cookies as well. So that's why you already see like some interesting shifts happening. And that's something that after you know that you can survive and things are looking okay when it comes to that's number 2. You really want to start thinking about how to do things differently, how you can take things online, how you can sell things, how you can use your existing customer bases to kind of do things slightly differently.
Great. Epic.
Like that one?
I like that one. Yeah. Tell me.
It's kind of also like, it forces small business to think like a startup more. It's something that we talk about all the time, and it kind of it has to happen now. It was also really interesting to see that you see a startup founder offer up his time and his time for free to help out small business to think a bit more like a startup and help them survive in that way. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah. And then I think there's also the startups that are now thinking like a small business. Like it's working in both directions. Yeah. When you were saying that, I literally just got like super selfish and just started thinking about us. And I was just going, yeah, cool. What could we do? What we need to do? What are we pivoting? I mean, we're already doing it. Like this is part of that. But tell me, it's number 3.
Yeah. Ongoing process too. The number 3 is to look at the future and kind of like to start thinking about what on different timelines. What does the future actually look like? Like in 3 months' time, if we're still in this situation, what does my business need to look like by then? And what kind of pivot do I need to make now to make sure that we are looking like that in a 3-month time period? And at the same time, also think about a year, because it might take that long for the economic impact to kind of really have made its mark and for things to start turning around again. And maybe even 3 years, like think about what the future looks like beyond this entire kind of crazy situation and how you make sure that you come out as a strong business still. Which is going to be tricky, but it's possible.
Or even with a business. That's like a full reality for a lot of people that I'm talking to. I guess, if you're listening to this, know that you're not alone. There's heaps of us in the same situation, that the runway isn't infinite for any business. It's just about reducing costs, like in point 1, innovating point 2, and then, looking at multiple realities, right? That's what we're trying to talk about. It's, what's our multiple realities, what's the multiple futures, and just planning for every turn that could possibly happen in front of us.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Man, insane. Great tips, dude. Yeah. I'm going to chuck this out.
Thank you.
Hannah, Hannah's going to come over for a sec, and then we're going to have a chat, and that's that. I'll chat to you a little bit later.
Awesome.
Hit me up, man. What's the best place for people to contact you? LinkedIn?
LinkedIn's probably the easiest.
And it's just Thomas Anbeek.
Right? Thomas Anbeek, that's it.
ANBEEK, everybody. So hit Thomas on LinkedIn. Any questions, especially around startup business models, forecasting, or anything that he mentioned. Thanks, dude. I'll chat to you.
Say hi to Hannah for me.
Well, man. Chat to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Catch ya.
Woo.
Thomas.
Hey, Teabag. Hey, back at you. Actually, Thomas and I had way more video calls yesterday than today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Fix your headphones up. You'll hate me for it.
Huh? What? What have I done?
Your hair.
Oh, my hair.
There
thanks,
you go.
Babe.
There you go.
Always got my back.
Mate, how is that guy?
Classic Thomas. That's brilliant. He loves Steve Blank.
Big time. So he sure is a bloody
amazing.
legend of a guy.
I love Thomas's insights. It's just like the picking up on the models, the 4-step process, the three bullet points, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But backed up with some good kind of academic theory. So legend.
Big time. I think let's just round this one up.
Yeah.
That was so sick. I think we're going to jump on a call with Gus shortly. That might be him.
Is that him?
But we'll keep you guys posted. Look out for the next episode coming up really soon. Quick roundup. You sent me something recently. I think we should call it out because it was a sick way to pivot as a hospitality business.
Oh, yeah. This amazing little restaurant in Balaclava called Pretty Little, which my friend Sean and Paul introduced me to, actually. But they're just this beautiful, very small, intimate venue, and their layout is like it's one big communal table that seats 16, I think, people. So of course they like immediately can't have, with physical distance, that's just out. And they pivoted super, super quickly this week and now are doing delivery or pickup from the window. And it's,
right.
you know, like it's good stuff, but it's and because their whole thing is they've built this amazing kind of community, right? So people go there and it's your local, and the menu is designed each day based on locally sourced
one
fresh.
Of those epic restaurants.
So good, and they're lovely. Like you'd love it actually. Like in
Maybe
terms
we have
of
to order in. Do you reckon they'll deliver over here?
I don't think
It's
so.
a bit far.
I think it's more that side.
Maybe I have
the
to
other
drive
side.
over.
Yeah, you're going to have to cross over.
I have to leave the north side, eh?
Yeah.
Shit.
It's worth it though. It's
Yeah.
worth it. But it was just such a great, they put out the video last night. It's a way to keep the community connected, but just such a great, all right, hey, we're going to keep you fed. We're going to keep you connected to our epic food, keep supporting the business. And I just think it's such a good example of changing things really, really quickly.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, support your local.
Yeah. So, gang, if you're in Melbourne, look up your local, favourite restaurants, bakeries, your local spots. If everybody just buys stuff from their local neighbourhood, like when we were just at Almantara, I'm going to get a whole bunch of food to chuck in the fridge. I'm going to love it.
Why wouldn't you? Their food's amazing.
Yeah.
And also, if you go to the supermarket, the shelves are bare from all the dried goods. You might as well buy fresh.
Yeah.
That's my view anyway.
Well, I'm thinking, we normally go out, a couple nights a week anyway for dinner. So I just got to replace that with takeaway food from the same restaurants. So, cool.
Boom.
Be safe out there.
Wash your hands. Don't touch your face.
Elbow bumps.
I'm always touching my face.
I've touched my face a million times in this podcast. So, yeah, awesome. We will see you shortly. DM us, follow us, subscribe, all those things. You know what it's like. Thanks, Chief. Cool.
Cheers.
See ya.
Woo.